And for those of you familiar with the Reagan Library area, there's a residential neighborhood there that homes were saved, and then across the street as well. In fact, what's kind of interesting is that you see the cross off into the distance there. Nothing burned over there. Firefighters were able to keep it away from that hill. But as we pan over to the left, Brandon, you will see how close the fire came up to the library. And there it is. The library not damaged at all. The aerial saw that we saw at 8 o'clock this morning when we arrived here was really, really good and well coordinated. I should tell you that when the library was being designed, local fire officials, everything else came in fires with all of the priceless artifacts.
Start of the white line, follow our cut, and then we'll flow down from here.
TC, Christine Avenue at East Los Angeles Avenue, Command 5.
Yosemite, I see easy operations on Command 8. Go for Yosemite, I see. Okay, hey, are you guys able to release any of the Type 1 strike teams that we sent you?
Behind you.
That's right, Colleen. So there are two fires in Riverside County right now. The Harupa Valley fire, which Letty and Rob McMillan have been reporting at, and now I'm at the Dexter incident here in the city of Riverside. I want to bring in Brian Gazzetta. Brian, we've been talking. You're a captain with Riverside, with the City of Riverside Fire Department. Tell us what the situation is right now here in Fairmount Park.
Conditions are getting a little better. When we first arrived earlier today, we had a significant fire burning in this river bottom that you see over my shoulder. When that fire was burning, we were getting significant embers.
Have an investigation, 2769 Fletcher Street, Cluster Fitzgerald, Command 5. Helicopter 535, advise if you want them, they will be assigned to the Hill incident.
Negative. I think we're going to be okay with that Elko out here this afternoon. We will be getting Fire Watch 509 back by that time, and you should be able to close up today.
Copy, we'll cancel the request.
The Riverside Fire Department just minutes ago, in fact. So this is the latest fire that we are now covering. And if you look there, our extreme nav technology is in fact picking up the Indian Hill Road, Ladera Lane in Riverside. So this is another fire we are working to get new information on. Include the Brea fire.
This all throughout the area. This is one of our more wind-prone areas. As you can see, there's not a whole lot to shelter us, so we've had our hands full with the wind this afternoon.
And you were telling me we're at 0% containment here with the Dexter incident. But talk to us a little bit about the resources that you have here. And I'm still seeing some smoke come from over there. Are you worried that this could reignite?
Definitely worried. We need to put that fire out in the river bottom. Once we put that out, the structure threat goes away. So we have resources up on the hillside and the homes. We have resources down in the river bottom, and we've been fortunate. We do have some mutual aid resources from some of our cooperators in the local area. We got a decent amount of resources on the incident, and we'll do everything we can to get this out as soon as possible. People in this area to go there until advised otherwise.
Thank you for talking to us. Really appreciate it. So that is the latest here. 0% contained. Things a little bit better. We're not seeing those embers fly, which is why that hillside caught fire and got close to these homes. But they will remain here, and so will we. I'll send it back to you, David and Colleen.
All right, Josh, thank you. Monitor the situation. We'll go back to Josh in just a little while. We want to say you are watching a special edition of Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock. I'm David Dona with Colleen Sullivan as we continue to watch this incredible windstorm that is feeding these fires across Southern California.
Certainly red flag conditions right now. Let's go over to Eyewitness News reporter Carlos Granda. Carlos, you are at a command center right now. What is your update?
Well, this is where they're monitoring all the fires that are going on here in this area, but specifically the easy fires, what they've been looking at mostly throughout the day. And I'm with Captain Steve Kaufman, and you've been monitoring this throughout the day. You say the acreage now in the easy fire is what, 1,491?
Yeah, just below 1,500. I think it was 1,491.
And the wind is died down a bit, but it's still strong. Explain how that's been the big problem all day.
So it's definitely been one of our challenges, these gusty winds. And anytime we have a wind-driven fire, it's unpredictable. It creates some very erratic conditions for our firefighters. Probably more importantly, though, coupled with the vegetation, which is bone dry, our
57, where you see that there had been some fire there. They're still putting water on it, suggestive of the fact that, of course, it's still smoldering there. And again, they want to make sure that they tamp down any kind of fire, any kind of smoldering, any kind of embers, because this wind is so severe that all it takes is one of those embers. We say it time and time again. But if this fire were to jump over the 57, there's plenty of grass and trees and whatnot, plenty of material to burn over there and high tension wires. As units are here, it didn't take them long at all to get here, to make sure that they some resources on what would be considered a relatively small fire, but again, there's no such thing when the winds are blowing, and the potential for it to spread beyond this 5-acre spot is still there. And there we go, a nice gust of wind that's making things very uncomfortable, at least for the news crew that's here. So I'll send it back to you guys. That's a situation. You see a lot of the units here, and they will stay here until they feel comfortable that it is time to move on. Alex?
All right, Susan, thank you for your continued excellent work there.
I do have an update here from Caltrans OC regarding the Brea fire before we get to the easy fire. It says southbound 57 is to go, and then also that this fire is at 16 acres. They are saying it is under control and being mopped up, containment percentage to follow. So great news for Brea.
Now to Ventura County, talking about the easy fire, and we have some new evacuation orders that were just announced. This is important information. Yosemite Avenue and Corcoran Street. These are places in Ventura County being evacuated because of the easy fire. We've got crews headed that way to try to...
He's got 1364 Alpha on a patrol status on North Parkway, that area. Copy. We just drove through the whole neighborhood. We haven't seen any engines. We saw a couple of strike team leaders. Branch 3 or ops, air attack, command 2. Branch 3 or ops, air attack, command 2. Show ahead for ops. Control just wants to let everyone know down there on the road that they're going to try to turn off before the road, but be heads up for those engines that are waiting for this to hit the road. That retardant's coming in the next couple minutes.
I mean, are you talking the road? We're talking the 23 freeway, correct?
Sure, Yosemite IC on command.
Yosemite IC, go ahead.
Copter 8, back to you.
Center copies. Releasing Copter 8. You're living 2211 East Gonzales Road, Command 5.
I see operations on command.
I see operations on command.
Operations, branch 2 is requesting mandatory evacuation to the neighborhood west of the 23 freeway and north of Tierra Rajada and to the east of Miller Parkway. I've relayed that message to County OES, and they have confirmed back on text message that they have done that.
Operation copy.
So Spike, just confirming that's where you're going to be working the VLAT on that area to protect that corridor in there?
Yeah, that's affirmative.
Copy that, thank you.
Is the IC of interest?
There's some traffic regarding rotor wing 5 and quarters. We can launch stuff out of the helibase. Winds. Get the helibase to get those resources up if possible.
Yeah, copy that. Air attack was working on it.
We'll confirm.
Is the IC of interest?
On command 2.
Is the IC of interest?
Sure.
EGIC Copter 8 was released from the Yosemite incident, confirming they are reattached to this incident.
To have them in the air, we'll take them on the incident to the air attack platform. Copter 8, please. Break.
Enter copies Copter 8's interest.
Copter 8, command 2.
Copter 8, confirming a copy of that last traffic will reattach you to the EZ incident.
We're clear Yosemite, head back to Union.
Enter copies.
From the ICs, you copy that, Spike. You got Copter 8 from VNC coming back to you over there. Like I said, I'm not sure if we can recontact the helibase, see if we can launch anything. Their winds down there may be totally different, but I think we have workable airspace out here. I'll wait let air attack chime in.
AIT Assistant 13, I just talked with Ops. I'll make the call to
Cam, I'll get that.
EZ air attack center. Command 2.
Ventura, easy air attack, go ahead and command.
Easy air attack, you'll have tanker 137 en route with an ETA of 1455.
Understood, and if you would mind calling Camarillo Hell Base and checking the winds again, we have some priorities.
Seizure, Villa dos De Los Robles, apartment 300 Rolling Oaks Drive, apartment 280, command 5.
Yosemite IC, 5 Alpha.
And 61, start truck 68 on that, on wagon wheel.
Venture copies, battalion 61.
That's squad 68 to the response.
Engine 64, medic engine 106, medic engine 3, engine 161, squad 60, truck 68, truck 61, medic truck 5, battalion 1, battalion 61, structure fire, wagon wheel road at Winchester Drive, command 5.
Repeat traffic.
Sir, medic engine 30.
Medic engine 30, go ahead.
We're now available for closer than 31s. Attach us and cancel that.
Medic engine 30, that's affirmative, we'll attach you. Medic risk engine 31, cancel.
Hazard at this time, but it does need to be addressed.
Venture copies.
IC, 1405 Alpha. Alpha, go for Yosemite IC on command. We're all picked up, we just gotta get some water and then we're available. Copy that. I'll release you back to Ventura for reassignment. Instructors threatened over on the easy end. They're gonna assign you to. 1405, copy, thanks. Ventura, Yosemite IC on command.
Yosemite IC, go ahead.
1405 Alpha is gonna be released. Back to you.
Venture copies, 1405 Alpha released. CSD Ventura. EVIC 131405 Alpha has been released from the Yosemite incident and brought back to East.
Have them immediately go to branch 2 for an assignment.
51, unknown medical, Camarillo Springs Mobile Home Park, 4 Daytona Avenue, command 14.
Reporting directly to branch 2, identify.
Central, I'm trying to raise 1405 Alpha. They were just released from Yosemite. 1405 Alpha, Central. Strike team 1405 Alpha, Central, commanding. Fourteen zero five Alpha, operations was requesting a report immediately to branch 2.
Report to branch 2, confirming they're on D526, and they have a reporting location.
Branch 2, you have 1405 Alpha en route from the Yosemite incident, confirming it's VFire 26. Operations Center.
Roger operations.
Operations 1405 Alpha is directed to report immediately to branch 2, confirming that's VFire 26.
Yeah, that's affirmative.
Beautiful.
Do you have a reporting location on branch 2?
1405, request your assignment on VFire 26.
Where you go? 9341 Charlotte. Branch 2, command. 1405 Alpha. You're a little ways off. Your assignment will be to structure group 12 on D-Fire 26, and just go ahead and stage 23 and Tierra Hada report to structure group 12, V-Fire 26. Copy, structure group 12, and 23 Tierra Hada.
Okay.
Branch 1, operations on command. Go ahead for branch 1. Hey, what were the Lima designators that you had available? 5117 Lima, and then LA County Dozer 6. Let's have them start moving towards Miller Parkway and Tierra Hada. Copy. Turn is if it jumps Tierra Hada at Miller Parkway and Spring, it'll be to that grassy field. So if you send them to kind of Moore Park Road, they can They can offload there, and they should see the grassy field on the south side of Chiarada at Miller Parkway, or Park Avenue. Sure, come sir. It'll end up being branch 2. Sure, go for Yosemite IC on command. Go ahead. Almost the other assignment. 241 Charlie, move. If possible, get rotor wing.
7 medic 471, her problems, Ventura Acropolis at Hospital, 4020 Loma Vista Road, Station 1, cross of court, command 5.
Branch 3 on command. Strike team 1405 Alpha, structure group 12 on command 2. Easy air attack, branch 2, command. Charlie, branch 3 on command. Go ahead on command. Branch 2, if not already done, we need Terrahana closed from the 23 freeway west. You know, you can also, which is great, to at least one part night school. Branch 3, 9341 Charlie. Operations Air Attack Command. Operations or Branch 3 Air Attack Command.
Hazard investigation 371 Bucknell Avenue, cross of Harvard, command 5.
Attack, go ahead for ops on command 2. Ops, you got air attack here. Where the retardant's been dropped, we're starting to be effective, but we have a spot. It's about a quarter mile out below the water tank. They're on a hill there. There's a few engines there, but it's fire's getting established behind another subdivision. Copy that. Do we have any rotor wing that can get on that? We have 2 rotor wing. We will be moving them there. I see a strike team of structure engines that are at the base of that neighborhood out on the main road. They need to start working in there and start doing some structure protection. Copy that. Branch 2 operations on command.
Injury at the Humane Society, 402 Bryant Street, and enter through the side gate, command 5.
Thank you, branch 2, front command. Go for branch 2. Hear that traffic from air attack. We got a spot that's near the water, and we've got some rigs by it, and he said if they engage, they should.
Minix 664, ill person, 4450, San Juan Avenue, Classic Rubens, command 5.
That's the one we're talking about.
3.
I feel the cross from here Rajada right now. So if we get a spot, we'll let you know as soon as possible. The train 11 with you? Yeah, we just separated from him, but I also have 2 Lima strike teams and a Type 1 strike team coming to this area in case we get a spot. We'll try to go after it. You can watch the progress to the west. I'm in the Shawnee neighborhood right now. Copy that. We'll hold on more revenue. And do we have a plan if it does jump?
Smoke check. Palisado Trails Park, 35 lot. Encina, command 5.
Structure Group 8, who has Sunset Valley, we can move Task Force 50 that way. Or I'll get Patrol 16 in Group 5. And copy that. If they can, I don't know what their assignment is now, but if they can start moving over this way, I idea. Copy, break. Patrol 16, branch 2, command. Branch 2, air attack, command.
Back down by Olson Road, which backs up to Wildwood Park, which is where our house is. So we're staying close. We've got a dog, and we're just trying to be near our house just in case we have to leave.
Back live again, looking to the west. We are on the grounds of the Reagan Presidential Library. Behind it, near the pavilion that houses Air Force One. If you're among the hundreds of thousands of people that come visit this, the largest of all the presidential libraries, this area was threatened for much of the morning, but the wind pushed the fire to the west. But the library was unharmed. I asked one of the assistant fire chiefs from Ventura County.
Yes, early on in the incident, Reagan Library was identified as a threat. We had, like I said, we had a very robust response with pre-position Sierra Rajada Road. We put strike teams of resources, which are engines assembled in increments of 5, into that area, and we were able to protect the Reagan Library. Currently, fire moved around the perimeter of the Reagan Library, and we had successful stands up there on protecting the library and the infrastructure around the facility.
Back live, that is a DC-10 going in for another Phos-Chek drop, some 12,500 gallons of that red chemical material. Incredible work, as has been the story throughout our Southern California fires, Alex and Christine, flying under very challenging conditions. Live from the Reagan Library in Simi Valley, I'm Phil Schuman, Fox 11 News.
Amazing to watch those drops, and the Reagan Library, such a treasure, so it's great to see that work today.
And anybody an event at the Reagan Library. It's just a fantastic property, and glad to hear that they had all that ground clearance there, so the fire didn't get
the goats helped them with that.
The goats they brought in, yeah.
So not too far from there in Simi Valley, there's another fire. It's called the Yosemite Fire. This is near the 118 freeway and Yosemite.
We just sent our Hal Eisner over there. He's been covering fires in the neighborhood of Simi Valley, his neighborhood, all day long. Hal.
Yeah, you know, the 118 freeway on my right side, on my left side, this is where the fire was. This is the so-called Yosemite fire. You can see firefighters putting water down on this, trying to get it completely contained. It started over here. We don't know what started it, but if you look on the other side of this gully, you'll see homes over there, and there were about 50-foot flames here, according to a captain I just talked to, and so they did protection on the other side, structure protection, started to work this down over here to try to protect those homes from those flames. It got pretty dicey. Part of the day, we also were over at the Easy Fire on Tierra Rajada. It's not just the people that are affected by this, it's the animals. We saw horses that were being rescued, and then there was this whole herd of goats that nobody was paying much attention to except for the two women you're about to meet.